The Ford Focus could quite possibly be one of the most familiar sights on UK roads. Ford's core family hatchback goes up against cars like the Vauxhall Astra and Volkswagen Golf. It's now in its third generation and exclusively a 5-door car these days, but the Focus has been one of the best-selling cars in the UK since the first cars arrived in 1998. There's a nice spread of engines available with the Focus, starting with a 1 litre and 1.5 litre EcoBoost petrol, as well as a 1.5 litre and 2 litre diesel. There's also an entry-level 1.6 litre petrol, but that's best avoided unless you have an automatic. It's one of only 2 auto choices. Of the petrols, the 99 brake horsepower 1 litre EcoBoost is ideal around town, but if you do more motorway miles, then go for the 123 brake horsepower version instead. This has a 6-speed manual instead of the 5-speed lower powered car. As for diesels, the 1.5 litre is the best bet. It's more efficient than the 2 litre and is punchy enough in everyday use to render the bigger engine unnecessary. As usual with Ford, the Focus is a sweet handling car. Strong grip and solid body control makes it feel wonderfully agile in the bends, while accurate steering weights up progressively the faster you go. However, it can feel a little unnatural, with the aggressiveness to self-centre that might put some drivers off. The ride is generally pretty good. It irons out big bumps and imperfections in the road around town with relative ease. Avoid bigger wheeled models though, as they get a bit fidgety over consistently bad surfaces. Most road noise is well suppressed too. The engines are largely refined, the exception being the older 1.6 litre petrol, but wind and road noise can get noticeable at higher speeds. All Focuses have height adjustment on the driver's seat, and the steering wheel is also fully adjustable, so it's easy to get a good, comfortable driving position. Forward visibility is pretty good, but the view out of the back is merely average at best. A blind spot warning system and an automatic parking system that will steer the car into perpendicular or parallel spaces are available as options on high-end versions. The infotainment setup is a little complicated though. Even the 8-inch colour touchscreen that you get in top spec models can be fiddly to use on the move because of buttons that are placed right in the corners. It all takes a bit of getting used to. Cabin quality in the Focus is not up with the best, but it's not terrible either. Some harsher materials and cheaper feeling parts give the game away, but many of the switches are well damped and the dash is largely finished with soft touch plastics. There's plenty of room for even tall adults to get comfortable up front, and it's adequate in the back. There's a little less head and leg room than you find in some of its rivals, but it's not bad. The middle seat is something of a squeeze though. You'll find plenty of storage spaces dotted around the cabin. Even basic models get a decent glove box, deep door pockets and a dashboard cubby good for mobile phones. Higher spec cars get extra spots like raised centre console or a rear centre armrest for even more hiding places. The boot is one of the smallest in its class, and there's no adjustable height floor or underfloor storage. There's nothing particularly clever about the seats either. They fold 60-40, but the backs don't go completely flat unless you raise the seat bases, which is all a bit of a faff. If you carry something large regularly like a pushchair, you'll need to check it fits first. The Focus's CO2 emissions are competitive, and with the diesel's at least achievable economies are good too. The 1.5 TDCi 120 averaged 58.5 miles per gallon in our real-world true MPG test, though the 1 litre EcoBoost 100 could only manage 38.9 miles per gallon. Equipment is decent across the board, but avoid the 1.6 litre petrol engine. Zetec is our pick of the range, with a few nicer toys like alloy wheels, fog lights and heated front screen, and should hold its value better as a result. However, resale values in general are not as strong as rivals. Our latest ownership surveys show that Focus's reliability is slightly below average, although Ford as a brand posted a mid-table result overall. It also has the advantage of cheap parts and a huge network of local dealerships. Every Focus model comes with 7 airbags, including a driver's knee airbag, plus electronic stability control and hill start assist. There's also a torque vectoring system that uses the stability control and brakes to distribute drive to the front wheel with the most traction. The Focus scored 5 stars when safety tested by Euro NCAP in 2012. The Focus is competitive on many fronts. Not only is it great to drive, but it makes perfect financial sense both for private and company car buyers. You'll want to avoid the very cheapest models, which are something of a false economy, but otherwise the Ford Focus is a decent family car, if not one of the very best. For more information, search for the Ford Focus on whatcar.com, and to keep up to date with all our video road tests, click subscribe.